Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is just walk through and kind of talk through the various questions for this homework assignment. You'll see, and if you worked through the problems more than once, you see that for each problem, if you work through it more than once, you'll see different amounts, but the concepts remain the same. And so hopefully, regardless of whether the amounts are there, you'll be able to see how I'm walking through it and what you need to do to answer the questions correctly and get to the answer that you need to get to. So I'm going to take each question one at a time, post a video of one at a time of each, or post a video separately of each question, so you can just watch whichever one or more than one that you had issues with. So for this one, Coal Exercise Equipment Inc. reported the following statement of cash flows for 2015. We click here to see what that is. Okay, we'll come back to this when we need to. Coal plans similar activity for 2016. Coal plans to purchase a truck for $31,000 and a forklift for $125,000 next year. In addition, it plans to pay cash dividends of $3,500. Calculate the amount of free cash flow Coal has for 2016. And then it gives us an idea of what these abbreviations that we see when we click on the drop-down menu, what each of these mean. So we're going to start out, if you remember from the book, what the free cash flow formula is. We're going to start with net cash from operating activities, and then we're going to subtract both of these cash payments for planned investments and cash dividends, and that will equal our free cash flow at the end of the day. So to be able to answer these, we just are going to click down on the statement of cash flows again, and this first component, net cash from operating activities. If you look right here, you see, okay, says net cash provided by operating activities, $175,000. So we'll click, we'll add $175,000 there, and we'll just leave that down here. Next, we have cash payments for planned investments. One more thing here. You'll see that this question is, we're trying to get to the free cash flows for 2016. Well, the key part in this question that helps us do that is, you'll notice here that these are the numbers from 2015. And it says here, Coal plans similar activity for 2016. What they mean by that is, even though we're basically looking into the future here, so obviously we're not going to know exactly what the net cash from operating activities is for next year. But the fact that we're planning similar activities as this year allows us, when we are calculating the free cash flow, to use the net cash provided by operating activities from last year and plug that into our formula that allows us to come to a guesstimate, basically, of what free cash flows are going to be for this upcoming year. Okay, so next step, cash payments for planned investments. Well, these are given to us in the problem here. So we've got $31,000 here for purchase of a truck, and $125,000 for purchase of a forklift. And absent any other specifications here, we're going to assume that these are paid with cash. Now, obviously, if this said Coal plans to purchase a truck on accounts payable or on a note payable for this amount, then this would not be a cash payment. But since it's included in this question and there's nothing that suggests that it's not being used or that cash is not being used for this purchase, we will assume that both of these purchases are being made with cash. So we'll add those together, $125,000 plus $31,000, and that gives us $156,000, which would be our cash payments for planned investments. And then our cash dividends that we plan to pay this upcoming year are going to be $3,500. And then we just have this relatively simple math problem to do. And I'm just going to slide my calculator over here. or if you're into using the Excel spreadsheet, that would work and probably be a little bit more efficient because you could plug these numbers in and make sure that the equation that you're getting the answer for is the right one. But since this is a relatively easy equation, just going to make sure that I type it in right. 175,000 minus 156,000 minus 3,500 equals 15,500. So that's what we see left over at the end of the day. And we'll just come down here and check our answer, and there it is. So that's the end of this first question. This is obviously the most simple and straightforward of the questions we're going to be looking at. But hopefully, if you didn't understand it before, you have a good idea now of what's involved here.